Have you ever wondered how a scientist in Japan and a scientist in Brazil can talk about the exact same butterfly without any confusion? I mean, they speak totally different languages. It sounds like it'd be a massive headache, right? Well, science came up with this really elegant solution. So let's dive into the brilliant system that brings a little order to the chaos of the natural world. Okay, so take a look at this animal. We all know what it is, right? In English, it's a tiger. Simple. But what do you call it if you don't speak English? And that right there is where the trouble starts. See, tiger works just fine for us, but in Spanish, it's tigre. In Hindi, it's bagh. And the list just goes on and on. Now, for scientists trying to share research around the globe, this is a recipe for disaster. It's just total confusion. Imagine trying to collaborate when you're not even sure you're talking about the same animal. No way. So, to cut through all that noise, the scientific community needed a game changer. They needed one single universal name for every living thing on the planet, a name that means the exact same thing in a lab in Tokyo as it does in a field in Tanzania. And that system is called binomial nomenclature. Sounds kind of fancy, I know, but it's actually super simple. Bi, that means two. Nomen, that means name. So it's literally just a two-name naming system. And this one simple idea, it completely changed biology forever. And the guy we have to thank for this stroke of genius is a Swedish botanist named Carl Linnaeus. We're talking way back in the 18th century. He took on this just monumental task of trying to organize and name the entire natural world. And the system he came up with is pretty much what we're still using today. Incredible, right? Okay, so how does this whole thing actually work? Well, it all comes down to a really simple rule book. And once you get it, you can basically decode the scientific name for any living thing on Earth. It's pretty cool. All right, there are just 4 super simple rules to remember. First, every single name has 2 parts, the genus and the species. A great way to think about it is that the genus is like a last name, the family you belong to, and the species is like your first name, what makes you specific. Okay, rule 2, you always capitalize the genus. Rule 3, the species name is always lowercase. And finally, rule 4, the whole 2-part name is written in italics. That's it, simple as that. Okay, let's put these rules to the test with an example we all know really, really well. Us. Our scientific name is Homo sapiens. You could already see those rules in action, right? So let's break that down. Homo, that's our genus. And you'll notice, hey, there's that capital H, just like the rule said. Then you have sapiens, that's our species, with a lowercase s. Put them together, and Homo sapiens is kind of like our unique official address in the massive tree of life. And what's awesome is that this system works for everything. A lion? That's Panthera leo. A tiger? Panthera tigris. Now, did you catch that? They both share the same genus, Panthera. That's not a coincidence. It's a clue that tells scientists they're super closely related. And it isn't just for animals either. A mango tree is Magifera indica. One name, understood all over the world, boom, confusion gone. All right, I think you're getting the hang of this. You've seen the rules, you've seen some examples. But the best way to really lock this stuff in is to try it yourself. So what do you say we do a quick little pop quiz? You ready? Okay, first question. Let's go back to our own name, Homo sapiens. Which one of those 2 words is the genus? Take a second to think about it. If you said Homo, you are 100% correct. Awesome! Remember, the genus is that first word, the one with the capital letter. Great start. Okay, next up, a bit of a challenge. I'm going to show you a scientific name that's written, well, wrong. Take a look. Homo sapiens. What's messed up here? How would you fix it using those 4 rules? And there it is. The right way to write it is Homo sapiens. So what do we have to do? We had to capitalize that H in homo, make the S in sapiens lowercase, and of course, wrap the whole thing in italics. Let's try just one more like that. Here we have Panthera leo. Same deal. Take a look, apply those rules. What needs to be fixed? You got it. The P in Panthera needed to be a capital P, the L in Leo had to become a lowercase l, and of course the whole thing gets the italics treatment. The correct answer is Panthera leo. All right, time for the final round, a quick true or false lightning round. Ready? Statement number 1. Scientific names are written in italics. True or false? And statement number 2, the species name starts with a capital letter. True or false? Lock in your answers. So, how'd you do? The first one is true. Yep, scientific names are always in italics. But the second one is false. And this is a big one to remember. The species name is always lowercase. It's the genus, that first word, that gets the capital letter. So let's just quickly recap the most important stuff. The whole point of this system is to have one universal scientific name for everything, so scientists don't get confused. And the way it works is simple. It's always two parts. The genus is capitalized, the species is lowercase, and the whole shebang is written in italics. That's really all there is to it. And that brings me to one last cool thought to leave you with. We know we're Homo sapiens, but what about our ancient relatives, the Neanderthals? Now that you know how this whole genus and species thing works, what do you think their scientific name might have been? It's a really cool question, and it just goes to show how this simple naming system can unlock some really deep connections about the story of life on Earth.